It started with a song that should have brought joy to everyone in the studio. Grammy winner Daniel Rodriguez was mid-performance, his voice filling the Ellen show with the kind of soulful melody that usually had audiences swaying and smiling. But Ellen wasn't watching Daniel. Her eyes were fixed on a woman in the fourth row who was crying like her heart was breaking. And in that moment, Ellen made a decision that would stop the music, silence the cameras, and prove that some pain runs too deep for entertainment to heal alone. The Warner Brothers studio was electric that Thursday afternoon. Daniel Rodriguez, the chart-topping singer-songwriter whose latest album had dominated the Billboard charts for 12 weeks, was Ellen's featured guest. His appearance had been planned for months, perfectly timed with his new tour announcement. The audience was packed with his fans, their excitement palpable as they waited for his exclusive acoustic performance of his hit single, Forever Young. Ellen had started the show with her typical energy, dancing through the audience during her opening monologue, high-fiving fans, and spreading the infectious joy that had made her America's favorite daytime host for 2 decades. Daniel's interview segment had gone perfectly. They'd laughed about his fear of butterflies, discussed his upcoming marriage, and shared behind-the-scenes stories from his music videos. Now, Daniel's going to perform his #1 hit, Ellen announced to thunderous applause. This is the song that's been the soundtrack to graduations, weddings, and every major milestone for the past year. Please welcome back, Daniel Rodriguez. Daniel took his position on the small stage Ellen's crew had set up center stage, his acoustic guitar gleaming under the studio lights. The audience hushed in anticipation. He struck the first chord, and his rich, warm voice began the familiar opening lines. When the world feels heavy and dreams seem far away. But something caught Ellen's attention. In the fourth row, a woman sat completely still while everyone around her swayed to the music. She was probably in her mid-40s, wearing a simple black cardigan and jeans, her dark hair pulled back in a practical ponytail. While the rest of the audience smiled and clapped along, tears were streaming down her face. Not happy tears. Not the emotional response to beautiful music that Ellen often saw during performances. These were tears of pain so raw that Ellen felt them in her own chest. Ellen tried to focus on Daniel, tried to be the professional host she'd always been, but her eyes kept returning to the crying woman. As Daniel reached the chorus, "Forever young, forever free, hold on to the dreams that make you believe," the woman's crying intensified. She pressed her hands to her mouth, trying to muffle sobs that were becoming audible even over the music. That's when Ellen noticed something that made her stomach drop. The woman was wearing a small, silver locket, and her hands kept touching it like a lifeline. Ellen had seen that gesture before, had felt that same desperate need to hold on to something physical when everything else felt like it was slipping away. Without thinking, Ellen stepped forward and raised her hand toward Daniel. "Stop," she said softly, then louder when he didn't hear her over his own singing. "Daniel, stop." Daniel's voice faltered, his fingers stilling on the guitar strings. The studio fell silent so quickly, it was jarring. 300 people turned to look at Ellen, confusion replacing the joy that had filled the room moments before. Ellen's producer, Andy, gestured frantically from the side of the stage, but Ellen ignored him. She was already walking toward the fourth row, toward the woman who was now trying desperately to wipe her tears and disappear into her seat. "I'm sorry," Ellen said, addressing her entire audience. "We need to pause for a moment." She reached the woman's row and sat down in the empty chair beside her, not caring about her perfectly styled outfit or the cameras that were following her every move. "Hi," Ellen said gently. "I'm Ellen." The woman looked up, mortified. "I'm so sorry," she whispered. "I should go. I didn't mean to disrupt anything." "You're not disrupting anything," Ellen said firmly. "What's your name?" "Sarah. Sarah Chen. I'm a teacher from Phoenix." Her voice was barely audible. "Sarah, can you tell me why that song is making you cry?" Sarah's composure crumbled completely. "It was my daughter's favorite song," she managed between sobs. "She used to sing it every morning before school. She said it made her feel brave." Ellen felt the air leave her lungs. She glanced back at Daniel, who was still standing on stage with his guitar, watching the scene unfold with growing understanding and concern. "Tell me about your daughter," Ellen said softly. Sarah clutched her locket tighter. "Emma. She was 16. There was a car accident 8 months ago. I haven't been able to listen to music since. I came to your show today because my sister bought me tickets for my birthday, and she thought it would help me start healing. But when he started singing Emma's song, the studio was so quiet that Sarah's whispered words carried to every corner." Ellen could see audience members wiping their own eyes, understanding that they were witnessing something sacred. "Sarah," Ellen said, and her voice carried the weight of someone who had also known loss. "Can I ask you something?" Sarah nodded. "Before the accident, did you and Emma listen to music together?" "Every day," Sarah said, a small smile breaking through her tears. "I teach elementary music. Taught. I haven't been back to work since. I can't bear to hear children singing. Emma was going to study music education too. She wanted to be like me." Ellen reached into her pocket and pulled out a tissue, gently handing it to Sarah. Then she did something unprecedented. She stood up and addressed Daniel directly. "Daniel," she called out, "can you come here for a minute?" Daniel immediately set down his guitar and walked over, his own eyes bright with unshed tears. "Of course." Ellen gestured for him to sit on the other side of Sarah. The three of them formed a small circle in the middle of the audience, with cameras capturing every moment. "Daniel, this is Sarah. She's a music teacher whose daughter Emma loved your song. Emma died 8 months ago, and Sarah hasn't been able to teach music since." Daniel's face transformed with understanding and compassion. Without hesitation, he reached for Sarah's hands. "Sarah, I am so sorry for your loss. I can't imagine the pain you're carrying." "She was going to be a music teacher," Sarah said, looking directly at Daniel. "She knew every word to your songs. She said music was the language of hope." That's when Ellen made the decision that would transform this moment from entertainment into something much more powerful. "Sarah," Ellen said, "I want to ask you something, and I need you to be completely honest with me. If Emma were here right now, what would she want you to do?" Sarah was quiet for a long moment, her tears slowing as she considered the question. "She'd want me to sing," she whispered. "She always said I had the most beautiful voice in the world. She'd want me to keep teaching kids to love music the way she did." Ellen looked at Daniel, and some unspoken communication passed between them. Daniel nodded and turned back to Sarah. "Sarah, would you honor Emma by singing her favorite song with me, right here, right now, not for the cameras, not for the audience, but for her?" Sarah shook her head immediately. "I can't. I haven't sung in 8 months. I don't think I remember how." "You never forget how to sing," Daniel said gently. "It lives in here," he touched his chest. "The same place where Emma lives now." Ellen stood up and addressed her entire studio again. "Everyone, we're going to do something different today. We're going to help Sarah remember that music isn't gone from her life. It's just been waiting for her to be ready." She gestured to her band leader, who immediately understood. "Can we get a microphone for Sarah?" "Ellen, no," Sarah protested. "I can't perform in front of all these people." "You won't be performing," Ellen said. "You'll be honoring your daughter, and you won't be alone." Daniel retrieved his guitar and returned to sit beside Sarah. The crew brought over a microphone, and Ellen helped position it between them. "We'll start very softly," Daniel said. "Just me and you. If you want to stop at any point, we stop. This is about healing, not performing." Daniel began playing the gentlest version of Forever Young anyone had ever heard. His voice was barely above a whisper as he sang the opening lines. For the first verse, Sarah just listened, tears falling silently. But when he reached the chorus, something magical happened. Sarah's voice joined his, tentative at first, then growing stronger with each word. Her voice was beautiful, rich with emotion and pain and hope all tangled together. "Forever young, forever free," they sang together. "Hold on to the dreams that make you believe." The audience didn't applaud. They didn't make a sound. They simply witnessed a mother finding her way back to the language her daughter had taught her to speak. By the time they finished the song, there wasn't a dry eye in the studio, including Ellen's. She sat down beside Sarah again and took her hands. "How did that feel?" Ellen asked. "Like Emma was singing with me," Sarah whispered. "Like she was telling me it's okay to come back to music." Ellen turned to Daniel. "What was that like for you?" "It was an honor," Daniel said immediately. "Sarah, your voice is incredible. Emma was right. And I want you to know something. I'll never sing that song again without thinking of her, without honoring her memory." That's when Ellen made her final gesture of the day. She stood up and addressed the camera directly. Today was supposed to be about entertainment, about music and celebration. But sometimes the most important moments happen when we stop the show and remember what really matters. Sarah, you lost your daughter, but you haven't lost your gift. And Emma's love for music lives on through you. She turned back to Sarah. "I want you to know that there's a scholarship program through the DeGeneres Foundation, and we're going to establish an Emma Chen Music Education Scholarship for students who want to become music teachers. Emma's dream won't die with her." Sarah broke down completely then, but they were tears of gratitude and hope rather than despair. Daniel wrapped his arm around her shoulders while Ellen held her hands. "There's something else," Daniel said suddenly. "Sarah, I'd like you to come on tour with me. Not to perform, but to help me connect with music teachers in every city we visit. Emma's story needs to be heard. Music education needs advocates like you." The episode never aired in its traditional format. Instead, Ellen's team created an hour-long special about music as medicine, featuring Sarah's story and highlighting the importance of music education in schools. The Emma Chen Music Education Scholarship became one of the Foundation's most successful programs, funding hundreds of future music teachers. 6 months later, Sarah returned to her elementary school. Her first day back, she taught her students Forever Young, telling them about a girl named Emma who believed music was the language of hope. Every year since, on Emma's birthday, Sarah's students performed the song at a school assembly, keeping Emma's love for music alive in the hearts of hundreds of children. Daniel Rodriguez never forgot that day either. He dedicated his next album to Emma's memory and donated a portion of its proceeds to music education programs nationwide. The song Forever Young became something more than a hit. It became an anthem for anyone who had ever lost someone they loved, but found a way to honor their memory through music. And Ellen learned that sometimes the most powerful moments in television happen not when everything goes according to plan, but when human pain intersects with human compassion, creating something beautiful from something broken.